Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, as you all already know, we've got the casing, we've got the shield in, we've got the motherboard in, we've got the processor is in, and obviously our RAM as well. So obviously we need to get cracking with the rest of the components to get this build up and running basically. So the next component is the SSD. So we've got here a Lexar M610 Pro SSD. This is a Gen 3 SSD, but it should still be pretty good for the kind of budget build that we've got going here. So we'll just open this up and see what's inside. Oh, it would have actually been easier if we could open it from this side. Right, so we're back. So we'll just get the SSD out and see what's inside. So you've got the SSD here. You've also got the small screw, but I believe, you will need to get hold of the screw because there is no screw in the motherboard kit. So make sure that you will have a screw and the SSD here anyway. So we're gonna get this installed. Installing the SSD is very simple. It just goes into the M2 slot and just literally tighten it in. I'm just gonna get hold of the little screw. So yep, so this is where the that's the slot for the SSD. I can see there's a standoff already on it, and it is on the correct, well, they've already given you one in the correct position. So what we need to do is we just need to slot it in and get it into place basically. It's just gonna be above the GPU. And that's the SSD installed in the correct position. With this particular model, you only get one slot for the M2 SSD. We are going to put a secondary drive in, which is going to be at the bottom, but obviously that's just going to be the 2.5 inch SATA SSD. That's just going to be to give us extra storage, but for the main drive it's going to be this one, which is the Lexar, and it's a 1 TB drive, which should be sufficient enough for you to install Windows and obviously get some of your work in, and obviously a bit of games as well. It's crazy how 1 terabyte is now such a small drive. It used to be a lot bigger, and now they're so tiny. So that's the M2 SSD done. What we're gonna move on to next is that we need to get the front panel connected with the motherboard. So for that, you will see that you've got this whole bunch of cables here, which have the connections. With the connections, you may need to refer to your user guide, but we're going to get these in. With these ones, what we're going to do is we can route them from the bottom. What we're going to do is we'll just route them from the bottom. There is a way through the front of the case here. So this is there can actually come out from, or I've just realized that with this case there's also openings up here. With my other case I didn't have these. So for us, I think a much better option would be to bring them from different angles. So this USB one, I think it can come through from here to go into this, or from the bottom up, and the rest can actually come from the bottom, because they need to get connected at the bottom anyway. So that would be the best way in. So let's just get this like so you can have a much better view to this. What we're going to do is we'll probably just have to get this one separated, because I know for a fact that it will be much better. The rest, they will have to separate at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave I'm going to leave the tie here, because it's much better for them to be together rather than separately. So we're just going to pop them in there. So the first one, I think what we'll probably do is that we'll have this one coming from the bottom. So we'll bring this up from the bottom and get it connected to this port here. That's the USB 3.0 connection. And it won't, it will be just above the GPU, but I think that should be fine. The rest of the cables, we just need to have a look what we've got here. Yep, so they can come from the bottom, but we first need to, I think the audio is at the end, around here. The USB was more on the front and the power, so we're going to have a look at which one is the audio. This is the audio, so I'm just going to make sure that the audio goes to this side and the rest will go into this. Yeah, so I'm gonna put the power and the USB through this one. That's the USB 2.0 connection, just so you know. The blue one is the USB 3.0. Just gonna put that around here. So I'm not sure. Yep, you can see it. So that's the audio connection. It says HD audio. That says HD audio as well. It will have pins. I can see that there's 6 pins, then there's 1 pin only, and then there's 2 pins. You can see from the layout of the pins how they should go in. So we're just gonna slot that in. This will control the mic and the headphone jack on the front panel. The next, we've got a USB connection. The USB connection is slightly different. You've got 8 pins together, and then there's only one pin at this end. So you've got one blank and one pin. With the USB connection, I've got USB 3, 4. So I've got 2 USB connections here, but we will only need one. So I'm just gonna put the USB connection. I'm just gonna see if there is any USB 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure if there is any other USB here. I can't see any. So anyhow, what we'll do is we'll just go to 3 and 4 because that's, I guess, a lower number. So we'll just see that. Obviously, as you know, that the pins are in a slightly different layout. So make sure that you slot it in with the pins. You'll be able to see how to put it in anyway, because if you don't, then again it can damage these pins, and if they get damaged, then you won't have any USB on the front. With these ones, you can see you've got the LED, you've got power LED plus, power LED minus, and then you've got the power switch. You will have to, well, every motherboard can be different, so you'll just have to look at the layout and just go with that. With this one, I'm just gonna see if I can find the layout. So here we have the manual. So with the manual, you should have somewhere, I should have been prepared for this, but my apologies. I didn't know this it was going to be so far down. And yeah, so here we have the diagrams. That is the one that we are looking for. It'll show you how the connections should be. So we can see that there's a ground, HD LED. So that's the one for the LED. That's the hard disk LED I can see. Then it's the power LED plus minus, and the power button, connect the power. Okay. So it's also giving you this explanation just in case if it's different. Right, so we will have a look what we've got here. So we've got HD LED plus and minus. This side is plus, that is minus. So we've got H plus and minus. So okay, I've got it. It says that the plus is on the left and minus on the right. So we'll just have to flip it over and get it in. Right, so that's in. The next one we have is power LED plus. Power LED plus is again at left corner top. So we'll get that in. The next one is power LED minus. Yeah, it's the one literally next to it. So we'll just get it in there. Next one we've got is power SW. That is probably the power switch. So it's yeah, it's written different. So power BTN is the power switch. So we need to look for power BTN. Power button. Yeah, so the power button is literally the two on the top next to the one that is blank. So we'll get that in. Right, so that completes all of this. I can see that there is no connection for a reset. Let me see if I've missed anything out. No. Do we even have a reset button? Yes, we do have a reset button, but there is no connection for the reset button, or at least I can't find it. We'll probably just have to investigate it further for just to make sure that if it's not there, then we won't be able to make use of that button. Right, so as you know that we've got these connected, so you've got the power, the audio is done, the USB 2.0, USB 3 is done, and I don't really fancy how it's coming straight up, because I know there's going to be a GPU here. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but for now we'll just have to leave it as it is and see if we've got any other option where we could sort of maybe move it around a bit and see if there is better fitment in another way. Right, we'll leave it at that for now, and well, I'll hope to see you back. We'll be doing the power supply next, and obviously with the GPU as well, and we need to get a cooler onto the CPU. So that's what's gonna be next. Thank you for watching.